Casey Briggs there. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has today been holding online meetings with the mayors from Sydney's COVID hotspot areas after being accused of snubbing them. The 12 mayors have been invited to the talks with the Premier a fortnight after she declined their requests for a meeting. Joining us now is the Mayor of Cumberland City Council, Steve Christou. Steve, how did the meeting go?
Look, the meeting went okay, I guess. The Premier definitely listened. Didn't offer much promises, but I can say the Premier was given a lot of long overdue realities of what we're feeling as a community, and I expressed the plight of our people and how hard we've been doing it under these unfair lockdowns and curfews.
So it's the 12 LGAs. Were you all in the meeting together, or was it one after the other, one-on-one? How did it work?
Initially, I was under the impression that we'd all be in together. When I logged on, the Premier had decided to see us four at a time. I was thankfully in that first batch, myself, Parramatta, Blacktown and Penrith. So she spoke to us, she gave us a bit of time, definitely was courteous, but other than that, we didn't get any commitments or promises from the Premier.
What was your main aim going into the meeting?
My main aim was to express the plight of our community. We need to come down out of lockdowns and curfews immediately, and also to advocate why aren't we getting a vaccination hub? Every day for the last 3 months, Cumberland has been named and shamed as being the hotspot for COVID, the #1 hotspot. So why haven't you given Cumberland City residents a vaccination hub?
And you got no promises on that?
No promises. There was an admission that we had received a very high rate of our first dose vaccination. We're now sitting at about 78%. And we are one of the leading local government areas in having our residents receiving those vaccinations. So the questions being asked were, well, why are we still under lockdowns and curfews where we are miles ahead of a lot of other suburbs that aren't, close to receive to the same vaccination rate as we are.
You said going in that you'd have some pretty confronting questions for the Premier. What did you ask and how did she respond?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, we said, why are we still under lockdown and curfews? Why do we see scenes like Bondi, Maroubra and Manly Beach over the weekend where people are flooding to the beach in their thousands, just laying around maskless? Yet in Western Sydney, it's a ghost town. And when you catch the odd person not wearing a mask, we have extreme heavy-handed police presence and helicopters above us. That was first and foremost. Why aren't we getting a vaccine hub? Why are you creating 2 tiers of residents? It'll be there's a first class and a second class. Those were the questions. To her credit, she listened very well and was very respectful. But the Premier is under no illusions after today of how we're feeling as a community and what's expected of her moving forward.
We know that the curve is bending down in your area. As you say, the vaccination take-up has been good. Are there vulnerable pockets, though, that you're aware of within the LGA?
Look, the vulnerable pockets are the people that might still have some language barrier problems. I'd like to commend all our local residents and the Cumberland City Council staff who ran a very heavy campaign encouraging our local community to be vaccinated. We ran the Arms Out in August campaign, which we've continued in September, and we've gone from being one of the lowest areas vaccinated to one of the highest. And that's purely because this council has advocated to be given the same services and access to the vaccines that the northern beaches and eastern suburbs had, which was finally delivered to us. And our community has come on board in droves, and I welcome the hard work of this council's organisation and the general manager, his staff as well. It's been a fantastic grassroots campaign all round.
It sounds like relations with the Premier have definitely improved today. What's your reaction, though, to the news that authorities took 2 days to lock down after they were aware that they had failed to contain this super spreader event that brought Delta to the west?
Look, it's disappointing and disgraceful because the realities are Western Sydney residents and the vulnerable community are paying the price for the failures to lock down efficiently. Nobody likes to be in extended lockdown. Nobody likes to give any government of the day a kicking, whether, they're from the two major parties or minor parties. So, all we're saying is make things right. Listen to our concerns, communicate now with us more freely now that you've had the initial sit down with myself and the other mayors, and we can work out of this together if you're truly willing to listen to and take our concerns seriously, because all we want to do is work with the state government to get our communities out of lockdowns and curfews so they can go back to their workplace, earn a living for their family, to pay their mortgage, their rent, their bills, and put food on the table for their children.
Steve Christou, the Mayor of Cumberland City Council.